Okay, welcome back to another episode of What the Foot. This time we have Travis coming back to visit us again for our second meeting. And today we're going to talk about optimizing for recovery, different tools that we can use to help optimizing our recovery. Welcome, Travis.
How's it going, man? I appreciate it. Hey, I've been excited, waiting for this episode. I'm ready to talk recovery because I have many injuries.
Oh yes, and surgery as well. I think one of the things, because I was trained as a surgeon, so I've done a lot of surgery. So optimizing for recovery after surgery is very, very important as well. In terms of, we're going to talk about function. We're going to talk about muscle power. We're going to talk about, the journey of recovery and how does that involve your fascia as well. So let's start. So Travis, tell us about the surgery that you've had in the past and what you have done for them to help you on your road to recovery.
I mean, I've had obviously my journey and a lot of people's journey in lives, and sometimes it can be pretty hectic. In the Marine Corps in Iraq, I blown my right knee out, so I had ACL reconstructive surgery where they took a piece of my hamstring graft, and then I broke my femur. 3 years after that, I got hit by a jet ski, which I have a rod and 2 screws in my hip. I got a plate in my knee, 4 screws in there, and then I broke my arm 3 years after that, which I have 2 plates and 10 screws. And for me, recovery has been absolutely everything to the point where I became a therapist.
It's amazing. For some people, if they have this type of injury, I might see them in a wheelchair. They might be crippled. But on the opposite side, I see that you're getting stronger, even after surgery. And it's amazing to kind of follow your journey, to see your transformation and how much you recover. So what's your secrets? Share with us your secrets.
It's all about, I just discovered recently was vibration. If a muscle is too tight or it needs to be relaxed, you do jolting, which is releasing, which is vibration. The deepest massage technique is downwards, like this, just vibration that goes all the way to the bone. So I broke my femur, and I was like, well, how can I? Remember they came out with those machines that like vibrated when you stand on them, right? Which is an absolute amazing piece because people don't realize everything is connected. So the vibration goes down to the fascia, which stretches, which regains range of motion right after. That's important. It's how to get stronger. Is you got to get your range of motion back. You can't get stronger on an injured, tight, weak ligament or joint or tendon. You got to get the range of motion again. I actually got a longboard, an electric longboard, and I used to ride it down the sidewalk, and it used to vibrate. And I used to feel it channel all the way up my body. And it used to be crazy driving down the street on the longboard and on the sidewalk thinking like, people have no idea I'm recovering right now from a broken femur on the sidewalk going because that was the only vibration I could get.
Yeah, so, that's exciting.
And then we linked up, and then you have the black roll, which is a piece of equipment that is the miniature version, the travel version of the vibration. Because remember, like we talked about, there are other vibrating foam rollers, but they're only a roller. The black roll is more than a roller.
Yeah, so I actually have it here, and maybe we'll do a little bit show and tell for people to understand. Now, traditionally, foam roller, a lot of people use a foam roller. So it's wonderful for recovery, and it has many different techniques of foam rolling. And we for this purpose, we're not going to go into it. And certainly you can look it up online to see different techniques of foam rolling. One of the things that will help speed up the recovery that Travis is talking about is the vibration. And this component itself is help speed up the process. Really, I feel that it's exponentially. And in a way that is kind of nice. Of course, you can't skip your own foam rolling, but when you add the vibration component to it, it will just help accelerate the process. And it's wonderful to start with a big group of muscle to help recover, or if you had surgery in the past, the fascia is tightened up. You want to loosen it up so that allow better function, better, so that you can optimize it to build back the strength that you have. Having the core, which is, we'll show you that this is the core component of the vibrating foam roller. And with the black roll system, all the core exactly the same size, so it will fit the black roll booster that will fit into the device. We are not advocating that you have to get a specific brand. The foam rollers, there's many different vibrating foam rollers out there, and you can, use any brand. The nice thing, and for me, it's about simplicity and convenience. And the nice thing about this unit, I think, Travis, you have had many of these vibrating guns, like the Thera guns and all different tools out there. The nice thing about this unit is you can use the booster for the vibrating foam roller component. At the same time, when you attach the head, now you have one of those guns. So for example, so you just screw it on pretty much. And then I want to hear your opinion, and maybe you can explain to people how it works. We can switch the view here, and I'm going to show the audience, and then you can tell us, Travis, how these things work. I think you have a deeper understanding than most people understanding about these things. So we have a vibrating foam roller. Now we're converting into basically a hand therapy massager. It has different attachment that you can put on different angle, right angle at 45 degrees angle, or 180. And you can switch them by moving them into different positions. So tell me I think you have one of these device, Travis. Tell me how you would use them, and which part and which component for which part of the body and what conditions.
Yeah, I've used many foam rollers. I've used many massage guns. And the thing for me is, it's about breaking down how they understand what the muscle is. So this is how you break down what foam roller means. So imagine if you're trying to pave a road and they just sprinkle the gravel out there, right? So it's just a bunch of gravel, just sprayed out there. Imagine what foam rolling does. Imagine that road being your muscle. It's just all, when you worked out, it's just all tight. It's all bunched up like gravel. The foam roller, what it does is, imagine that black roller. Show the black roller. Imagine that black roll being a bulldozer that's supposed to flatten the tar to make it a perfectly flat road. That's what you're doing. You're rolling over the muscle to make it flatter, to be more stronger, more durable, more range of motion.
Here, when the attachment is directly at 180 degrees, straight line, you're working on the trigger point, and then I'll do a little quick demonstration to show the vibration. All right. And you're working on a specific, let's say you got tennis elbow, and you're working on finding your trigger point. And then once you found the trigger point or the tightened fascia area, and you stay on it. And fascia is in 3 dimensions. So here you can see the vibration is side to side, but you're applying the force straight down into it. So you have 1 dimension, or really 2 dimensions, that you're working on there. When we switch it over, let me pause it, switch it over to the other angle. This is what the Thera gun does, is at the right angle. And it gives the vibration as well, but it's at the vibration is at a different angle. It moves. We'll do the demonstration here. Okay. So again, trigger point, but now it's moved in and out, because the vibration does this. And it's in line with the pressure where you're applying the pressure to the trigger point. And lastly, this, I would call it the stripper. If you have a muscle that you're trying to flatten it out, but it doesn't have, it's a smaller area, you don't need to roll with a big foam roller. You can use a vibration and strip down the muscle. And really, what you see is spaghetti noodle. If you kind of throw it up, and they're kind of all different arrangement, they don't work together and make it strong. When you bunch of spaghetti together and try to pull and break it apart. It's very, very hard to do that. But if it's all different angle, you can break it off, and you can, break it a lot easier. So it's a lot stronger when all the fiber of the muscles or the fascia are kind of aligned and working in the same directions. So by stripping it down and working this way, it will help loosen it up. Just as Travis is talking about, the flattening out the road and the tar, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I didn't think of that. I'm glad you thought about that. It makes it a lot easier to understand, Travis. Anything else to add about different attachment here?
I think people just need to understand that we're dealing with red blood cells. So it's like everything is that you're doing underneath the gun has to do with your body reacting to chemical releases to build, repair, and release. So it's not like you're gonna stick the gun there and that's the wizard move of all moves. That's not the way it works. People need to realize that it takes time to do something, just like it takes time to undo something. So consistency under the educated, conscious aware of the correct holding pattern and releasing is what actually effectively does this for our body to change. So I think people need to be a little patient, but they need to start with the healthy patterns of, even if it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds a day, 1 minute a day. And then once you become and feel the release, then it becomes the healthy habit and the pattern, and then you're off to healthy living.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a good point. Travis, can you share with us your journey, what you have done for yourself, in addition to, obviously, you were given therapy, you were given instructions, but if you don't do it, obviously it's not going to work. But what are the tips that you can give people to help themselves in terms of optimizing recovery after a procedure?
As a therapist, I created an aftercare program to allow people to understand how important it is to be healthy and strong before and after recovery a surgery. And you're absolutely right. The reason why my femur recovered so great is I was leg pressing 900 pounds at 135 pounds before I broke my femur. So I was very strong. When I broke my arm, I was already handstanding for 8 years every single day. So my arm, it's definitely, you have to be wary before the injury. So being healthy is so important even before injury, because you don't even think you might get injured, but if you are healthy, it completely changes the recovery and the motivation after. So for me, a big thing after surgery that I had to understand is I'm the only one that's going to take the hit if I don't do the exercises. And that is huge, because imagine when you're at a location and there's a therapist sitting there, you know that you have accountability because they're either checking it off or they're counting, or you better be sweating a little bit, right? So, but when you're at home, you think of the exercises and you say, I'll be okay. Remember, that thought only affects you directly of not recovering. That's it. That thought delays the recovery process. It hinders the strength building. That thought. So understanding that doing the right thing when no one's looking, that's the Marine Corps mindset in me. But understanding that you only cheat yourself. That's it. Like, your friends don't get affected, your family doesn't get affected, your businesses, nothing gets affected but your health. That is so important. So with that thought, it should make you take so much pride in getting it together and making sure your scar is gone and your range of, you should take so much energy into that to recover bigger, faster, stronger. So for me, I actually sat down on my couch after my broken arm, and in 3 days, every single day I woke up, I sat there, I did this, I seen how far I could go, and in 3 days, I almost had full range of motion back from surgery in 3 days. And that is because I was doing this. I was sleeping in my bed like this, because remember, when you break your arm, you're like this, so you lose your tricep. So I was consciously telling myself through red blood cells that it's not broken. As in, instead of holding a cup with this one, I held it with this one, knowing that someone would say, no, let it rest, let it relax. So remember, anything other than nothing does not mean extreme. Doesn't mean extreme. I didn't say I held a cup that weighed 25 pounds. I said I held an empty plastic cup. So
that is
you don't
powerful.
have to extreme yourself. You just have to be in the mindset of positive actions. Any little tiny thing, even you just thinking of doing that from a broken arm is more than you saying, I'm not going to do anything. It's staying in here. It's not moving.
Well, I wanted to add to that because there's a lot of recent clinical studies to show that mindfulness, the power of your mind to help you heal, is so huge. Most of us, or we're looking at evidence based when we're looking at, okay, so it's a physical thing. You have to do something physical, but it start with mental, the ability or the willingness or the craving that you want to heal. And I've seen it. There are a number of my patients that have had surgery and where they in their mind they're given up, and what I see in their journey is they don't recover very well, because in your mind they are giving up already, even though they had the same therapy as somebody else. They don't recover as well. So it's so important to have that mindfulness and mind body experience. It's all start with your mind and then follow with the action. That's how you're going to get better. So thanks for making that point. That is very, very important for people to understand, that you have to want it. We are the initiator. Okay, so we see what the problem is, we fix the problem, and so we initiate the start. So it's up to you as a patient to take that initiation and take yourself to the journey of recovery. So we cannot do that for you, and it's your own journey. So, of course, we are going to do the best job we can as the surgeon, as an initiator, to get the process started and put the joint in the right place, put the fascia and the muscle in the right position, and then you take all of that and you go to a massage therapist and you work with your own body and get through the process of self-discovering and to empower your body to heal. And not only to heal, I think you can actually take it to the next level, because there is no limit. Your body is not a limit if you allow it to find a new normal, because the certain joint you have a restriction, so you couldn't do a number of movement, a number of actions. But once we are able to release and allow that area to work, to move, now is your opportunity to build it up from there. And I think that's the how powerful the self-discovery is. And I look at you, Travis. For us, we initiate, and you would take people on their journey and move to the next level of self-discovery, self-empowerment, and you walk them through that journey and help them to get to where they want to go. And how maybe you can tell us about the book that you wrote and how it would help people on their process of recovery. I think it would be very, very helpful. The sleep, you mentioned a little bit about positioning and how your body responds.
I was gonna say is when you have surgery, now your body has a type of injury or setback. So we would consider that body diabetes. So if you have actual diabetes, you still have to eat food. You still need your proper nutrition. You just have to find a new way. So once your body has an injury or goes through like a surgery, now you have a type of thing you still have to move. So it's important to understand that movement is a huge key, and even being motivation in life, period. So it's critical to just make sure you keep going.
Well, thank you very much. And really, it's life. I look at it, life is movement. Movement is life. So it's key to our building strength. It's key to our recovery, and it's key to really quality of life. How we enjoy life is based on our movement.
That's why I created the Body Man. I mean, I created the aftercare program because I wanted people to understand that healthy, pain-free living from a therapist side, because I have a lot of injuries and I know how expensive therapists are and how time-consuming it is. So if you could have a little bit more leverage of self-knowledge about your body, that's what I'm trying to help people out with. Just a little bit. Just it's like the spark of the intro of you wanting to educate yourself further within your own injuries and body.
Well, thank you very much. I do have one question for you, and this is for me. It's amazing to see you do handstand, and I know I cannot do a handstand. So for somebody that is a handstand virgin, what's your recommendation for me to start doing so that I can practice to get my way to get myself on the journey of able to do a handstand?
First off, anything other than nothing is something, which means if you put your two hands on the ground and you attempt a handstand, to me, I believe you're handstanding. So step one is only measure yourself on your own scale. So don't go to handstand thinking about my handstands. You handstand at your level, at your mindset, at your rate, and your mind and your body will build accordingly. That's the key. The key is not trying to go, oh, I'm gonna go. No, no, no. Because then you'll think I can't. We don't want to go there. Red blood cells, positivity. If your goal and journey is to handstand, you will put your hands on the floor and you will try to keep your legs up, and then you know you're ready to handstand.
That's very good good thoughts, and I will start today, and I will work on a handstand. We'll let the audience see my progress maybe one day. You know, this
I
is
do
not
have a handstand manual, and it's very important to learn how to fall out of a handstand, which is inside of the manual.
all right. So thank you for the tip. So wonderful to have you on our show again, and we're looking forward to meet again. And until next time, we appreciate you coming to us. And I think maybe the next time we'll find a way for us to have this face-to-face meeting. So we'll
Oh,
hope
yeah.
that we'll get there or get to that point soon.
Yeah,
And
maybe we can line up the products and something so I can, we can get some real education going with people.
that makes sense. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to go hang out in Las Vegas, not for the gambling aspect, but there's so much to do out there that I really enjoyed. One of the things that I really enjoy going out there is to able to visit the Grand Canyon on the way, which is about 5 hours away from Las Vegas. So I can't wait. Looking forward to that. So let me do a little bit of a closing. All right. So thank you very much for joining us for another episode of What the Foot, where we build our foundation of our body from the ground up. Please leave comments, feedback below so that we can provide a content that you would be interested in. And let us know who you would like to see or who you would like me to connect with and have these conversations to share with you. Thank you. Until next time.